truck, jeans, beer, girl, creek, boots, truck, tan legs, train, dog, beer, Dixie cup. Got a beer in my beer and a Chevy in my truck. Got a dog at the wheel, cut off jeans, truck. Dirt road, back road, beer, moonlight, red, white, and blue, girl, Friday night.
By the way, I'm also very sorry, Mrs. Fletcher, about this evening session, but it's the only time we seem to be able to get this studio.
Oh, I think that mystery stories should be read in the dark of the night, don't you?
You know, it's interesting. It's always the dark of the night to me.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cabot Cove Confab Podcast. This is Sean.
Hello, Sean. And this is Steve.
And we are on, believe it or not, episode 100.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking about Murder, She Spoke from season 3. We'll get to that in a minute. But before that, we have pre-show banter.
Hello, bonjour, buenos dias. Good day, guten tag, konnichiwa. Ciao, shalom, dobre dien. Hello to all the children of the world.
Yes, and I just want to announce, if you had been listening to us, we actually, our recording before this, we did for the Late Late Horror Show with Dino and Dave. I had announced that for our 100th episode, we'd be doing it in the nude. And so, for all of you that have subscribed, paid the $100, you will see the video of us completely naked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you know, if you have not donated to our Patreon slash...
go to patreon.com/bullshit Cabot Cove Confab. You will get to see video of us doing this in the nude.
In the nude, yes. Not really.
Not really.
Are you in the nude?
I
Sean?
am wearing shorts, but I am shirtless.
But nothing else? Shirtless?
Because it's Texas and it's fucking hot, and I had to go outside and water the plants. So,
okay.
Here I am. All right.
So, yeah, pre-show banter. We did an episode, was it a week or two ago, with the Late Late Horror Show, and we talked about murder by death, and I had a really good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that Murder by Death is one of the greatest, like, unknown, like...
Okay, he is slurring, ladies and gentlemen. There is a reason. He's not having a seizure. Sean's totally fine.
Guys, I'm gonna have a nice nap after this podcast. Basically, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna go and watch one of the things that I'm gonna talk about in the pre-show banter and relax. So.
Okay, thanks. Had my headphones on full blast there. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you.
All right, well, no, I'm here to please, sir.
So. Well, you're in your shorts, yeah, shirtless.
Hey, I'm not bad shirtless now. It's called Ozempic. I mean, I've got...
Yeah, how's that working for you?
Kind of well. I'm over the...
Good.
All the nausea that comes with it when you first take it. I'm just not hungry most of the time, and I have slimmed down 22 pounds.
Congratulations! Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm not taking Ozempic because it sent me to the hospital, but I am on another medication that's similar to Ozempic, and I think I could probably go a day without eating. I have to tell myself to eat.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Is it like sort of nauseating in a way? Like if you look at the food, you're like,
No, I wouldn't say nauseating. I'm just not hungry. Huh. And I've skipped breakfast and lunch, and it's like, oh, it's dinner. Oh, maybe I should eat something.
Yeah.
So I'll probably end up dying in about 6 months. So
No,
enjoy me while you can.
So for those of you who are taking like Ozempic or Wegovy or any of those drugs, which basically it's a semaglutide drug, stock up on the fruits and vegetables. And I'm saying this because I don't do it, but I should. And I really enjoy fruits and vegetables when I eat them. But otherwise, I'll just have like Uber Eats from Whataburger. So yeah.
It's funny. You still eat shit like Whataburger, Wendy's, and so forth. But you're losing 20 plus pounds. That's great.
I lost most of that weight before July. Apparently, I lost 7 pounds from July to now, and it's October, end of October. But totally, yeah. In the last month or so, I've been doing Uber Eats a little bit more often than I should. But I still feel like I could take my shirt off in a bar if, if I wasn't almost 50 years old. 50 years old.
Plus the nipples the size of saucer plates.
No, sir. No. I'm looking at... No! I will challenge you about that.
Well, if our Patreon members paid their $500, they could see for themselves.
No. If you ever watch a pornographic movie and you see a performer who has nipples the size of saucer plates...
What is that line from? That's from a movie or something.
It could be... There's probably 1,000 movies out there with it. And when I say movies, I mean like 15-minute clips on Pornhub. Or whatever else is not illegal.
No, sir. You live in Texas. We don't get Pornhub here.
You know what really pisses me off about Pornhub is that one. No, I'm serious. No,
listen. I'm sorry.
This is going to get political for a second, but stop. I sat down at my laptop one day, and then I learned that Pornhub is illegal in Texas, and I got really, really mad because I just realized that somebody in Texas in the legislature, who's probably older than me and makes more money than me, has decided that I cannot jerk off to Pornhub. And then I got very angry, and I thought, well, at least I'm not pregnant and want an abortion.
Yeah, that's going a little political there.
Yeah, that's a little political, but I'm just going to say it. Yeah. I mean, like little stuff like that touches you. You got to mention it.
Okay. Well, we will move on from that. So what what else do you have for pre-show banter besides your political views?
I have wonderful pre-show banter. I have been alone for about a month now. Tom has. I was going to say moved. No, he's in South America. He's coming back later this week, and I've been watching movies and shows and whatnot on YouTube and Amazon Prime. And I'm going to talk about two specific shows. The first one is a channel on YouTube. Wait, there's two channels on YouTube that I want to talk about. The first one is called Small Time Monsters. And
watch that, sure.
Yeah, for those of you that are interested, and I know there's at least one of you that are, that like the paranormal, you like the ghosts, you like the UFOs, you like the Bigfoots, love it, love all of it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
And I know that you and I are into that, and I personally, since I got into like paranormal podcasts and stuff like that, I've been into Bigfoot. And I know it's a big
Specifically
joke.
Bigfoot. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's a big joke to everybody, and I know that you are more into UFOs, but my God, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I watch these videos of these old guys with long hair and beards, talk about Bigfoot, I think I'm absolutely convinced that there is Bigfoot out there. And I just feel that nobody else is paying attention. And I feel kind of like one of those like Trump conspirators, like, oh, the election results were all fake. They were, but seriously. And I kind of want to know from you if I'm crazy or is this a thing?
No, but there is like a caveat, another side of the story that kind of bothers me about the Bigfoot thing. And it's all paranormal stuff, really. But with the Bigfoot specifically, yeah, if you just go off of the lore from like the Native Americans discussing it, saying it's a thing, and then you go off of so many eyewitness accounts, and it's not people searching or wanting to be identified, like a lot of the channels I listen to. It's just people like these podcasts that talk about it, and people are like, I don't want to be identified, I don't want to, but this is what happened, kind of scenarios. There's so many, there's thousands of those. The opposite end of the coin for me that really kind of bothers me about this is that there's really no firm confirmation photography, and it's the only thing we have is from the 1960s, the Bob Gimlin film,
Gimlin.
Yeah, that's the only thing, and it's still not conclusive. I think it's real, but for that to be the only thing from the 67 or whatever, late 60s, that's the only video we have to date. It really bothers me. Like the footprints, I feel like could possibly be faked. And if any photos were to come out now, I would immediately be suspicious because of AI.
Yes, absolutely, I agree.
It's now too late for photographic evidence.
Yeah.
There's some things about the footprints that I find fascinating, like dermal ridges. That's basically the fingerprints in your hand also exist in your toes. So those exist in the Bigfoot thing, but I just feel like it's been so hard to have conclusive evidence, and it's been since the late 60s. My mind thinks there should be something at this point, and there's not. There's nothing. And I guess I wish there was more. I definitely lean towards it being real, but again, it's been since the 60s. We haven't had anything, and that bothers me.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
And the people who did the Bob Gimlin Patterson film, the problem I have with that, I really think that the footage shows something that it's not a suit, but the fact that Bob Gimlin and Peterson went out looking for Bigfoot. It's not like they just were doing something else. They had a book, they had a movie deal going. There's financial gain involved, and so that bothers me a bit about their evidence. So whatever.
That's their story, though. That's what they say, or that's what he says, because Patterson is no longer with us. It's just and so he was like and people who knew him would say, he was kind of a what's the best way to put it? He was like a used car salesman. He had that personality to him. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know these people personally, but what really kind of convinces me is just there's so many people who have these stories that don't want to be identified, which may prove to say, well, if they don't want to be identified, that's more proof that it doesn't exist because they don't want to. I don't know. And trust me, folks, what you're saying is absolutely true. There are people that are like sort of like salt of the earth, like Appalachian, folks. They don't have a dog in the game, and they will tell you the story of what they've seen or what their grandpappy has seen. And there's another. This is sort of a Venn diagram. So I've been going into the YouTube bunny trips, bunny pets, and I didn't realize that there's a whole thing about feral people living in the woods in Appalachian, And
see, that makes sense.
it does sort of make sense, and that might be it. But that also freaks me out because there have been horror movies about that really freak me out. I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think, probably is the original. You know, like, that really freaks me out that on the level that I don't even want to think about it. That may account for some of the 411 people. You know, and for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know what the name of the guy is. I can't remember.
Pilates?
Yeah.
Or Pilates? Or, so yeah, it's like, I have one of his books.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It's, by the way, that
Dave
book,
Pilates.
yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
That book's worth a lot of money, by the way. Yeah, missing.
I got the first book. Hey, is it worth
missing
anything?
411 in national parks in America is that people just, you know, I'll be there talking to Steve. I turn around and I go to get a scotch from the cooler. I turn back. Steve's gone. Never hear from Steve again. He's just gone. Where did Steve go? Was he taken by Bigfoot? Was he taken by
Did he have to take a pee? Like,
feral Appalachian people? I don't know. So that's
Maybe.
a huge thing, the missing 411 thing. That's really...
I'll lend you my book. I have the first edition of the first book.
Yeah, they're out of print now. I actually looked and tried to find them because I want to read them. Anyway...
Well, I'm going to lighten this up.
Okay,
you're
yeah,
getting
please
some
lighten
conspiracy,
it up. I know you
conspiracy
love
theory.
this shit,
Yeah.
but please lighten it up.
Okay, well, I went on a kind of a buying rampage recently. I'm into video games as well as the paranormal and Murder, She Wrote. I was aware of this company called Analog. They made they recreated the Nintendo 64, but it's modern hardware, and it can output to HDMI, 4K, and all that fun shit. And I love stuff like this. Like, the problem with like collecting video games, you collect board games, I collect video games. And but the problem is a lot of the old game systems from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, well, they don't really output. It's very difficult to hook them up to modern TVs because they don't output in HDMI.
Yes.
So this new console that came out earlier this week was for the Nintendo 64, and I remember buying this. I was one of those people that bought it day one, the Nintendo 64, back in 1990, whatever. Sold it, got rid of it, whatever. But this came out, I was very excited, and so I pre-ordered it. It's not coming out until, I think, Q1 of 2025, and so I went on a buying spree after pre-ordering that. I went on a buying spree on eBay looking for all the old games I had and all the old games I wanted to play I never got to, and so I've been doing that shit. And yeah, so I don't know if you're into the Nintendo 64, Sean, but it had like GoldenEye, Mario 64. What other games did it have? F-Zero.
I'm so sorry. I was never into it. I was only into Super Nintendo. With, what was the Mario game? What is that?
Super Mario Brothers.
2?
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers. Was it 2, or was it just Super Mario Brothers?
Well, there was Super Mario World for the Nintendo or Super Nintendo, but anyway, so I've been picking up games left and right, and it's interesting. I've been watching videos. Apparently, these older games, there's a fake, bunch of fake cartridges out in the wild, if you will, that are for sale. And I don't want to buy the fake stuff. I don't want to spend $50 for a rare game that ends up being worth $2 because it's fake. So I've been educating myself on how to identify fake cartridges and stuff like that.
Have you seen the ones that look like lamps, where they take them and they redesign them so that they be...
What the fuck are you talking about? Look like lamps. What? Explain yourself.
No,
look like lamps?
They'll take the cartridge, they'll restructure the cartridge, they'll take the guts out of it, and make a lamp out of it. And I've seen this with Nintendo cartridges. I've seen it with VHS tapes. Well, they'll take the tape.
They look
off.
like lamps.
Yeah.
You're pranking me. I
No,
have
I'm
no
not
idea what you're talking
pranking
about.
you. I'm not. I swear there are people on Etsy and or eBay that actually make lamps, and they're quite expensive. And my grandfather, who is no longer with us for 25 years, was a mechanical engineer who worked for Bell and Howell, and he created this fucking. No, wait. He created this fucking movie camera that I have in my closet, and I don't know what to do with it. No, it's like a 16 millimeter. I say camera. That's wrong. It's a movie projector. It's a 16 millimeter movie projector. And I know that a lot of you are thinking, oh, that's really cool. No, it's not. Because you don't want me to put 16 millimeters of film in this and not burn it up. Because that's what it will do. And I don't know what to do.
And then you're going to have to splice it, and then
Yes.
Columbo comes over, and he identifies you as having dementia.
Yeah,
and
and he'll be like, are you telling me that when I took Mrs. Columbo to the theater, $1.16, that was on the screen all the time? Yeah, no. But I don't know what the fuck to do with this thing. It's in my closet.
Sounds cool.
And I could throw it out, but I think that
No.
my grandfather would haunt me.
Yes, he would.
And so I've been thinking about sending it to the guy to make a lamp out of it.
No, don't do that.
Why? I can't put 16 millimeters.
No, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Okay. I think we're talking about two different things here, but I think
right.
we should
Talk about
concentrate on talking about Murder, She Spoke.
Wait, can I talk?
Is...
Can I talk about one more thing?
Okay.
All right. So I've been unemployed for about a month. I'm sorry, 2 months, and I've been able to explore things on YouTube.
Okay. Oh, thank God. I thought we were going back to Pornhub. Okay,
No,
go on.
we're not going back to Pornhub. But I think I haven't mentioned this specific channel before, but I know that I've mentioned things like this. But there's if you go on YouTube, look up a guy named Ethan Minnie like Minnie Mouse, like from Disney World.
All right, doing this right
And
now.
there's about 1,000 YouTube people out there who do the urban explorer thing, where they just, they explore like old theaters or churches or castles or whatever.
Right.
And so this guy, he goes out and he doesn't explore those old places. He explores houses that are like from the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s.
Oh, they're beautiful. Yeah, I would want one of those homes. Yeah.
Yes, and they're scheduled to be demolished soon. And he just goes in there and explores them, and they're not old and dusty. They're still in like really good condition, and some of it is really gross. But I agree with you. I love these homes. They are the greatest homes I have ever seen. And
Oh, they're beautiful.
yeah, I am telling you right now, I live in a home that was built in 2015, 2016, and compared to the stuff that I've seen on this channel, my home is a piece of fucking shit. Like,
Okay.
it's really cool. It's really cool. Like basements upon basement. Like, they have like rec rooms in their basements and bathrooms, and there's a bathroom upstairs, and it's fucking ugly, but I would totally live in it. Okay. That's all.
All right. Are we ready to talk about Murder, She Spoke?
I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Hold on, I have to put my glasses on for this.
Okay.
All right.
So, season 3, episode 22 for the readers that are keeping up. This is another blind man murder mystery. Because we just did one. Fuck, like, what, 3 or so weeks ago?
Yeah.
Death Goes Double Platinum?
Yes. And so I seriously automatically thought, and I texted you about this, that the blind guy's the murderer.
Yeah, I can see why you thought that. Yeah. You didn't appreciate my pun. No.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't see the pun in what you were saying. But I seem to remember at some point that this was set in Texas, but it's not.
It is, because it's so the pretty much like 90% of the episode takes place in a recording studio at the Red River Recording Studios, which makes, and there's like a map. At one point we see the lieutenant. There's a lieutenant, what's his name, Faraday, and he's got a map of Texas, asshole. Oklahoma. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a map of Texas in the back. So I think this takes place in Texas or in the area, the vicinity, like Oklahoma, Arkansas, kind of.
I'm gonna
You gonna challenge that?
Because I also saw a map in the background, and I thought it was South Carolina.
Yeah, I could see that.
The
plates
on the map.
Now, the license plates on the vehicles don't look like anything from this area that you and I reside. But yeah, so we are introduced to Charlie Daniels. I mean, Stoney. Charlie Daniels is in this episode, which it makes me think back to the Columbo episode with oh fuck! Why am I drawing a blank on this?
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash, yeah, Johnny Cash.
Steve, I want you to make me a big list of things, nice things that I can do for you. I'm gonna see how many of those things I can do for you.
Okay, that's like coming off as creepy as fuck, but so this is not going to be as good as the Johnny Cash episode with Columbo, which I can't think of the name.
Oh, fuck! Oh shit! Oh, I actually thought of this.
What's that?
Okay, so for those of you that are familiar with the Johnny Cash episode of Columbo, it actually fucking happened like 2 years ago, and there was a YouTube guy that actually faked a plane crash. He jumped out of his plane, parachuted somewhere, and let his plane crash. And then it turned out he did it all on purpose just for a YouTube prank.
Oh, it was D.B. Cooper. Okay.
No, that's a little bit... That's a little before our time, but it's before YouTube, Steve. It's not D.B. Cooper.
Oh,
I really wish you could take some of this content more seriously.
I take it very seriously. So one of the things I noticed about Charlie Daniels is throughout this episode he's wearing like you've heard of the I know I'm going to call it wrong, but it's basically a shitty Christmas sweater.
Oh God, yeah.
So he's wearing like a really shitty Christmas sweater throughout this. I don't know if it was on a dare, maybe. He was drunk.
Wait,
I'm not sure. This was before crappy Christmas sweaters was a thing.
I have to ask you something because you called him Charlie Daniels, and I think I have him down as Stacy Carmichael.
What?
Is Charlie Daniels a real person? Like,
yes, Charlie Daniels. He's a famous country western artist who plays Stoney Carmichael. Yeah.
Oh fuck! I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a real musician. He's probably, you'd recognize his song from Urban Cowboy with John Travolta. He sang the song "Devil Went Down to Georgia."
Really? Oh,
yes.
Fuck me! I didn't really. Oh, I feel so stupid. Kids, I'm from Chicago. Steve's from Texas. Yeah. I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he's recording a song, which isn't too bad. I don't know the name of the song. It's pretty good. But he's playing with his band in Studio A of the Red River Recording Studio, which again I think is in Texas. I don't think we actually get confirmation of this.
I'm still gonna. I think. Well, anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's got an over-enthusiastic niece named Sal. I'm pretty sure she's fucking everybody in the band. Her job is to get sodas and other things for the band. Because we do confirm later that she does sleep around later in the episode.
Yeah,
and she's young, she's blonde, and she's annoying.
So if you're young and blonde and annoying in a murder mystery, you're gonna be a slut. I mean that's murder mystery 101. I'm sorry, but it is. It is.
I'm sorry. Trying to transition easily from that to. Meanwhile, in Studio B, Jessica is recording a book to tape.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, it's weird because Angela Lansbury does a very good job at covering up her British accent, but not in this. In the recording, and she's recording the book to tape. It's very bland recording. Like she's speaking very. I don't know how to say it in a nice way. It's not something I'd want to listen to.
I think it's interesting is that they kind of specify in the episode that it's books for the blind because she's got a blind friend who's named.
Well, she doesn't know he's blind. That's the weird thing.
I thought she did.
No. Because when he walks in, this is Greg Dalton. He walks in and she's surprised to see him with a cane, or see that he has a cane. So she doesn't know he's blind, which not good writing.
Yeah, I actually she should know that he's blind because I actually thought this was going to be a plot point later on. But Greg turns out to be Jessica's friend, and I'm saying that in like air quotes, Jessica's friend, who is the one that is accused of the murder. I actually thought straight from the get-go that he was the murderer. I'm like, I don't even know who's going to be murdered. I mean, the fact that he's blind is going to be a plot point in this story. But no.
Right. And Greg Dalton is played by William Atherton, and I believe we just did an episode where he was the murderer. Really? Was it Judge Not?
Really?
Yeah, he's the pencil dick from Ghostbusters.
No, it's true. This man has no dick. No, a pencil for a dick.
Okay,
you're right.
But no, he did another Murder, She Wrote, which would have been a later season. So I'm pretty sure it was Judge Not. This is the one where his father was screwing around with.
The black lady who was
I'm glad you said it.
It's okay. The one that was set in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
He had taken Ozempic, lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But that I'm sorry, that was not to show my hand early, but that was a better episode than this one.
Yeah, we'll get to it. All right.
But yeah, he stumbles into the recording studio, and he proceeds to show Jessica his father's fornication room, which is a hidden room in the plantation mansion. Yeah,
that's in the other episode.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But it's funny because there's going to be some blind puns, not just from me and Sean, but through the show itself. Because there's a point where he's apologizing that they can only use the recording studio late at night, and Jessica's like, "Well, mysteries really should be told in the darkness." And he's well, it's always dark for me. And he He didn't deliver it in that kind of jokey voice I just did. But he kind of hints to Jessica, like, I can't see, everything's in the dark. It's nighttime for me all the time.
But is it? I just recently learned that blind. I almost said blind people. Blind people.
Oh boy.
Blind people. It's not always like complete dark. Like there's different conditions of blind. Like there's
right.
Blurry, and then there's like gray to black, whatever. But
I don't think the writers for this episode took that into account.
Yeah,
because I think blind is you just fucking don't see shit.
I agree. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. We're introduced to the upcoming murder victim. I mean, owner of the Red River recording studio, Randy. And Randy likes his girls. He is a hornball. He will, if it isn't strapped down to the carpet, he's gonna fuck it.
Yeah. He is classic Murder, She Wrote 101 victim. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna die.
So let's go over some of the people he knows that will probably kill him. We're introduced to his wife, Margaret. Margaret is an older lady with a lot of money, and Margaret, I think, is aware that he's using her for her money and her
Right.
There we are introduced that Stoney is upset because there's a bootleg of his music out there, and where else is the bootleg going to come from but from the studio?
And that makes him a suspect, but he's only in like one scene of this, so how could he possibly be the murderer?
Yeah. We are aware that Greg, the blind dude, is upset because this will be the last book for the blind that's going to be recording there. So there's some issue.
Yeah, this is from 1984. So books for the blind were basically audiobooks compared to now, when people who don't really feel like reading listen to audiobooks, which I'm sorry, I still judge them. But you do
really?
What you gotta do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Well, this was back before the normal American worker didn't have to work 2-3 jobs to make a fucking living today, including their spouses. So books for the blind today are like a treat. Mm-hmm. I know I'm sounding like I'm bitter, but
okay.
Back then people had
this is
people,
the podcast to do it. It's okay.
Oh, okay. People today have to work multiple jobs, so if they want to read a book, they have to listen to it. That's just normal, audio stuff. But okay, there's also Carl. Carl's the current owner of the Red River whatever recording studio, and there's a buyout going on. And we find out that Carl doesn't really want to sell. He changed his mind because he's fickle. He's an ass. So he might be a murderer. So these are all people who have run into Randy, the future person who's going to die. Okay.
No. There's
What?
others.
Okay.
There's I wrote down Sally
Sal,
Carmichael. That's the niece of
Right.
Mr. Carmichael. There's
With the loose legs.
Margaret Whitmore, which is Earl's wife, and
wife,
Earl is the Earl Tuckman is the producer at that particular show. I wrote a whole list of these fucking people that aren't even introduced later on. We just know them from before the murder, and we never really see them later on. But keep on.
All right, so there is a blackout in the studio. And there's one person we didn't introduce, Al. He's the one that's recording in Studio A with Charlie Daniels. Stoney. And, you want to pick it up? Because I'm trying to catch up my notes.
Oh, no, it's okay. So Jessica was recording her book, so obviously she's interested because, what the fuck, there's been a murder, therefore I'm interested. One of the, we immediately find out that the Lieutenant Faraday, who is on the case, is a dick. he's a dick.
Okay.
Like, guys, I mean, I know that we've seen multitudes of Murder, She Wrote episodes set in New York where, like, the detective is like, okay, all right, Jessica, I'll deal with you, whatever. No, this guy is a dick.
He's a sexist.
Yeah, he's sexist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a misogynist. He immediately, like, starts off with saying about, like, women, this and that. And actually, it's so obvious that it's almost like a trope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how they're doing it. Like, oh, do you get it? He's misogynist.
He doesn't want any help from Jessica. Matter of fact, at one point, because she's coming in and she's like, "Oh, did you notice the fingernail polish on the floor?" And he's like, "Oh, of course, a woman would notice nail polish on the floor." Yeah.
Come on, dude. That's a fucking clue. Look at it. Do your job.
And Greg even says, like, "Oh, no, she's a murder mystery writer." And
Yeah.
he's like, Lieutenant Faraday's like, "Well, writing's a really good hobby for a woman outside of cooking and talking on the phone." And it's like, holy shit. This guy's a real douchebag.
Yeah. And I think it's too much. It's almost.
You think it's too much?
I think
so,
it's
too.
too much. I think they tried too hard to make this guy into a dick.
Right. Well, and we didn't really talk about the murder, which is why the show exists.
Oh yeah.
So Randy, the guy who owns the studio, he's stabbed in the back in the dark because there's a blackout, and Randy is still alive, which I thought, holy fuck, this guy is not dead. This can't be Murder, She Wrote. It's not almost Murder, She Wrote. He's still talking. He just didn't see the killer because he was stabbed in the back in the dark. But he does end up,
Go ahead.
What's
I'm
that?
sorry.
No, so he does end up dying on the way to the hospital. But
when I found out about that, it kind of reminded me of the Columbo premiere of Prescription Murder, where he tries to kill his wife by strangling her, but she doesn't die, and he doesn't know that until he comes back from vacation. And they're like, oh, before she died, she said one thing, your name. And he's like, oh, okay.
no.
I guess so. Yeah.
But they do find the murder weapon, which is a steak knife behind. At first, I thought it was a cigarette machine, but it's actually a soda machine. I really wanted it to be a cigarette machine.
It looked like a cigarette machine. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And also, if this is a soda machine, I don't want any soda that's coming out of that machine. I mean, seriously.
What do you want out of that machine, Sean?
I don't know. Cream soda?
Cream? You want cream soda?
Yeah.
Root beer? Uh-huh.
Cream soda. Root beer.
I mean, none of the sodas that were in that machine looked like from anything I would want to drink. It looked like from something like discount sodas, like RC soda, not a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi. It would be
Hey.
What?
Do not make fun of RC soda or Royal Crown soda. Did you know that RC soda or RC Cola was created pretty much exclusively to be served with Royal Crown liquor?
no, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's the only reason they created it. It's like, okay, this is going to be paired with Royal. And RC Cola, as a result, it hasn't been down in the South, but it is distributed up in the North a lot.
Okay.
And if you like RC Cola or Royal
I
Crown,
do not.
You do not?
Uh-huh. I do not.
You can go up north, but you won't find Tab.
The consolidation of the soda industry has been really bizarre, I think, in modern times. Like, you have your Dr. Peppers, your Coca-Colas, your Pepsi-Colas. Mm-hmm. But you don't see, like, RC Colas anymore. Are they still around?
Yeah, they're still around. They're up north. They're up north. Yeah. kind of miss
So the murder weapon is a steak knife, which we find out later belongs to Greg and his wife Nancy, because I guess they had a barbecue and they invited everybody over, and they're like, instead of as going away presents to their guests, are like, here, take a steak knife. Hey,
Yeah, of course.
You like a toaster? You want a toaster? Oh,
Exactly.
hey, cocktail glasses. Yeah.
Nobody would ever have a steak knife unless they had a barbecue. Therefore, that's a guilty point right there. I mean, I haven't had a barbecue in 15 years. I've got like 4 steak knives over here. So
you stole from other people's homes? Okay.
Yes.
Why? And why would you do this, Sean?
I didn't do it. Somebody else did.
Most people, when they go to someone's home for a barbecue, if they go to their bathroom, they usually go through looking through their medicine cabinets. Like, oh, he's got what are some things that you could steal from somebody's medicine cabinet?
Heavens, for heaven's sake. You go through the kitchen cabinet. You're looking for a garlic press, a good steak knife, anything that you can just fucking take without them knowing. Oh, yeah, I'm going to take this bottle of wine home with me. I haven't been able to...
Yeah.
Oh, you won't mind if I take this garlic press, do you? I mean, people don't fucking know. Just saying.
So we find out that Carl, the owner of the studio, because Randy's dead now, he is going to cancel the Book for the Blind, or audiobooks for the blind, whatever you want to call it.
Books for people that are too lazy to actually read.
And I think that Carl, basically, because he's canceling the Book for the Blind, might as well just cut in line to the front of the line in hell. You might say that shooting the Pope would cut you in line, but this guy, I think, Carl he's at least second in line. I think if you
he's not a good person at all. Yeah, he's got it coming.
So Lieutenant Faraday, let's get back to the story. I think we're both drunk at this point.
Oh my God. We're both hammered. Seriously, people, if you are listening to this and paying attention, we're both hammered. I mean, there's no literary
and
thing.
Nude and naked.
Yeah,
we're
nude.
both. Yeah,
we're both nude. Yeah,
except for Sean, he's
or as Steve likes to say, naked. We're naked.
How do you say it?
Naked, not naked.
What did you say?
It's an A. Naked, not naked.
Naked. Not naked?
It's okay. You can say whatever which way you like. I really don't care.
I don't know what to say. Podcast gold, ladies and gentlemen, right here.
All right. Steve. The thing is about this story is that this story is bad. I really don't like it. I really don't like who turns out to be the murderer. There's a moment and while I was while I was watching it, I texted you and I said, "Hey, I know who it's gonna be. It's gonna be the blind guy." And I was wrong. And that's okay.
You were very wrong. Yeah.
And then a little bit later I said, no, it's going to be the wife. Because there was this ridiculous, what I thought was a murder clues shot where when Jessica shakes hands with her, there's a close-up of this lady's bracelet. So I'm like, that's got to be a clue.
No. It's... Okay, I was wondering why you thought that. No, it was not a zoom in on her bracelet. It was zoom in on her fingernail polish.
Oh!
I was wondering where you were going with that.
No, because Jessica finds the fingernail polish on the floor after she sees all the furnadents that are on the floor. She sees the nail polish.
Why does that word make me hungry? I don't.
Furnadents?
Fernandette, yeah.
Fernandette. No, remember that episode where it was...
Oh, no, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
She's
no,
like,
actually,
the Fernandets. And it's like, what? What the fuck?
It sounds like a candy or something. Like,
I will have some Fernandets. I'd love to have some Fernandets. Anyway, so... Could you pick it up?
I'm picking it up. All right, you're handing off the football to me, and I'm gonna run with it. Okay, all right. Where are we? We're talking about
the most sportiest thing that Steve has ever said on a podcast.
The sportiest. Okay, so while listening to a cassette tape of the murder that she recorded in Studio B. We're like skipping over shit because we're gonna have to finish this soon.
I don't know fuck about shit. That's my imitation of Ruth from Ozark. I don't know fuck about shit.
Okay. There's going to be heavy editing, I hope, involved in this, Sean.
No, there's going to be absolutely no editing involved whatsoever.
Okay, so she gets a cassette tape of the recording of the from Studio B, and she's like, "Oh, this gives me an idea," and it gives her a clue. It turns out I don't know what it is, and she heads back to the studio. Oh no, I know what it is. We Lieutenant Verde, he is like fucking like loves his guns. He's got a scope that he can see in the dark with, and it gives her an idea. Like, oh well, maybe if that technology exists, which it doesn't, that somebody can see in the dark even though they're not blind. They are using a technology in which they've used in their motorcycle helmet. Well, who's driving motorcycles? I don't know. Maybe it's fucking Al, the guy who's in the studio. Okay, I don't...
Yeah, the guy that we met 2 minutes and doesn't really have anything to do.
Thank you for picking up on me there, Sean, because you knew I couldn't cover it.
Yeah.
But it turns out the killer is the guy who drives a motorcycle who's horny for Charlie Daniels' niece, and for whatever reason, there's no reason. Oh, no, I know the reason. Sean. I know the reason. The reason is he is the one selling the bootleg copies of Charlie Daniels, and he can't be discovered. So he's got to kill his boss. There's no fucking reason to this murder. There's no fucking reason to this murder mystery. This is like coming out of left field for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. We were watching this along with me and Sean.
If your boss discovers that you've been selling just like copyrighted,
you got to kill him.
Bootleg.
And you got to kill him. And the money you've been making off the bootleg, you've got to put it in that technology. It doesn't exist. Into your motorcycle helmet so you can see in the dark, even though there's fucking flashlights that exist. But never mind that.
No, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about the motorcycle helmet, because I didn't know this was a fucking thing until I watched this.
Doesn't exist.
And it makes sense, but I didn't know about it because I've never driven a motorcycle. But apparently, you can see in the dark with a motorcycle helmet. And if you wear your motorcycle helmet, you better wish to hell you hang it up on a hook in front of Jessica when she comes to visit you at work, because otherwise there was something in there about like he had it when he came to work. Excuse me, but when she visited him, it was on the coat hanger. Like, I don't understand that clue. Like, I'm out of it. Well, I know I'm out of it, but do you understand it?
I understand it if it was a fictional clue, because it is. It's not a real thing.
So you mean you can't see in the darkness with the motorcycle?
Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. I don't know what you're doing right now.
Okay, all right. No, I'm asking you. I don't know. Okay.
So the killer, let's just cut to the point. The killer is some dude you didn't really think it was going to be a dude, but it was, whatever. The whole fingernail polish that Jessica uncovers, it's not a feminine thing. They keep saying it's the clues are it's not going to be a woman because whatever, like soft sole shoes.
Oh yeah,
it's not high heels. I mean, there's so many things. I don't want to say clue again. I just did. That is, it's going to be a guy. It's going to be a guy. It's going to be a guy that, with using technology, it doesn't exist in the 80s, 90s, or even today. Well, maybe today, but it's Al. Al. Al did it.
I completely agree. I think we're on the same page about this. Yeah, it's really stupid.
It's not Charlie Daniels. It's not his slutty niece. It's not the wife, Nancy, to the blind guy. It's not the blind guy, because it's so obviously the blind guy. It's not the blind guy. It's Al.
It's Al.
It's Butler.
And
if there was a butler that was named Al, it would be Al.
And he's like the sound recording guy.
Right, yeah.
Whatever.
Sound studio dude.
Just like we did a couple weeks ago where the sound recording guy was the murderer. And
okay.
In that season 12 episode, murder, there's 2 beats to it. I don't remember what that. Murder goes double, death goes double platinum. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
all right.
And and what's the motive? It's all about copying blackmail tapes.
He didn't want to be caught selling bootlegs. Which, what? I mean, what is that? And they even said like the bootlegs were like $20 a pop. So what are we talking about? $1,000?
Not enough to kill.
$2,000?
Yeah, I'm pretty okay with not killing over that.
And what sucks is this is an early season. This is a season 3 episode.
Mm-hmm.
I expect so much more. You have got to beat. I mean, if we're going to compare apples to apples here, let's compete to the Death Goes Double Platinum, which is season 12, which both you and I kind of like meh.
Yeah,
but we kind of like mid-level. It was like, I think we gave it like a 4 out of 8.
And we were excited because season 1 would be next. And you would think that, as you said, season 3 would be better, but
so let's. I'm ready to rate it.
I'm ready to rate it.
I think that the readers, listeners are tired of hearing us like stumble through this one.
What I really like about this conversation, though, is that I think that you and I both know, like, when a mystery is bullshit, like when it doesn't have any good clues, when it doesn't have any good Jessica moments, all that. And this is one of those stories. I'm sorry, I actually kind of stole the thunder there, but go ahead.
Yes, you did. All right, so I'm going to go in. Let's go ahead and pull a number out of my ass for this one.
Okay. Yummy.
There was a number that was identified early for this one, and it was when Jessica was reading her books to Tape for the Blind, and she's talking about the murderer. She's talking about how it takes 4 hours to stuff a cabbage.
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
Go back to the very beginning.
Oh.
There's a stuffed cabbage, and it takes 4 hours to make. I'm sorry, I probably said that wrong. It takes 4 hours for the killer to stuff a cabbage. So 1 out of 4 hours, Sean.
I have no idea. Okay.
I'm hungry. I want a stuffed cabbage right now.
Okay. All right. Out of 1 to 4 hours, I'm going to give this 45 minutes.
Wow. You went sub 1 hour.
This is a really horrible story, and it's a horrible mystery.
It is.
And there are certain expectations when I watch a Murder, She Wrote, and I really don't have high expectations. But the blind guy thing really, really threw me. Like I thought he was guilty. I thought he wasn't blind the whole time. Like I thought this was like
that would make sense.
Some sort of gimmick, and I'm waiting to see like the tell that he's not blind. Like that lady in Monk. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That lady in Monk.
The Willie Nelson episode in Monk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. The first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I thought that was a great clue. That was a great tell. This guy, I'm not sure why he's
William
there.
Atherton, yeah.
And I just didn't care for the people in this. I mentioned, what's his name, Carmichael, and you knew who he was. I had no idea. And there were all these supporting characters, including a murderer who I couldn't give a damn about. It turns out there's really no mystery solving in this whatsoever. It's just Jessica going from place to place. And I actually agree with you 100% about it being a season 3. Like, you'd expect it to be better. Like, I'd rather watch the Bill Maher episode from season 6. But yeah, I'm not gonna get so 45 minutes out of what is it, 6 hours? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna give it.
Well, the thing with William Atherton, he was great in the Judge Not episode. He's a great actor. This is the Pencil Dick guy from Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. I think he even admitted, like, in an interview later, that he was known for being called a pencil dick. It broke him. Which
I thought it was that he just had no dick. Is it pencil dick?
Yeah.
Or had no dick.
Pencil dick. Yeah.
Okay.
This. He kind of overacted in this one. There was a scene where he's jogging with Jessica because, Jessica likes to jog. She's healthy.
Oh, my God.
And he says, "I smell coffee at 100 miles." He didn't deliver it like I just did. But he could have done it, and it would have been perfect. But he could, because he said something to the effect that when you go blind, your other senses get amped up.
Yeah.
But he's like, I can smell coffee. Yeah, anyways.
And the whole scene smacks of, hey, people, blind people can jog too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a whole scene where it's him back and forth with his wife Nancy, and his marriage is on the rocks since he went blind because Nancy, I don't know. Nancy, you're a bitch. I don't know. Why would you want to leave your husband because he went blind and he doesn't need you? I would think that your husband is trying to prove to you, like, hey, I'm still a full man. I'm not half a man anymore. I can do things on my own. And she's like complaining that, you don't need me anymore. I'm just your chauffeur. Okay, I'm going somewhere, probably a bunny trail that doesn't need to be going down to, but what the fuck am I talking about? Holy shit.
The really blind man and his wife.
But
where were you going with blind Greg and his wife?
I didn't like Nancy. I liked the character Greg. I didn't like how William Atherton was portraying him.
Was that
okay?
Okay, go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
I don't know. Oh, okay. So I'm going to give this. I was going to give it an hour out of 4 for me. So, but I didn't like it. I really didn't. And this was not a good episode for an early season.
No.
I'm sorry. This was not a good episode.
It wasn't. I agree wholeheartedly.
I liked that Charlie Daniels was in it. But Johnny Cash did a much better job when they brought in a country. Okay, where am I going? This could have been better. I know where I'm going with this. This could have been a really good episode. There was so many things. Charlie Daniels, who I like, was in it. There was a blind dude in it. William Atherton was in it. It should have been good. It should have been a good episode, but it wasn't.
And Charlie Daniels.
And it led me to drinking. I became an alcoholic because of this episode. That's what I have to say.
And Charlie Daniels with his
And I'm crying
Christmas sweater in like May or whenever this was set. I don't understand that either. He's like,
Okay.
well, I'm going to wear my Christmas sweater. Well, Charlie, I think you should probably... No, I'm wearing it!
There is one thing that is redeemable about this episode.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody noticed it but me, because when an episode is so boring and stupid and monotonous, your eyes start to wander, because it is a visual medium. We're watching TV, right? Mm-hmm. It's visual. Mm-hmm. Your eyes start to wander. And it's not the fact that there's no blood or any fucking shit on the carpet or anything like that. Did you notice, Sean, and I bet you didn't, or any of our other viewers, did you notice that the studio, where they're recording, was a real musical studio? I absolutely believe this. It wasn't something they built, but that there's a cat door. There's a cat door in Randy's office. The guy who died, the guy who got stabbed in the back. Mm-hmm. And it's not only a cat door, it's a cat door that's cut out and is from the door from his office to the hallway. Uh-huh. It's not a cat door that's a cat door. It's a cat door that's cut out into the door in the shape of a cat. Okay. Did you notice this?
Oh, you mean like a shape of the cat, like Wile E. Coyote, like ran through it? But it was
right,
like...
a tiny cat. There's a cutout in the door that's in the shape of a cat in the
really?
Actual human door. Yes, and you will notice it, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't notice it until later, but if you go back to because you've got the Blu-ray or the DVD, whatever.
I got that.
At 9 minutes and 0 seconds, look right before the murder of Randy. There's a cutout in the bottom of the door of a cat.
No, I'm
assuming that's for a cat.
Okay. I'm not.
It's got little
I'm
pointy
not
ears.
This first.
It's got a little body. It's got little pointy ears.
And you said this was at 9 minutes and
0.1 seconds. Yes.
Okay. All right. I have to look this up. Hold on one second. Tonight at Murder, She Wrote. I gotta fast forward through all that.
Tonight on Cabot Cove Confab.
You're listening to fascinating things where Sean fast forwards through the... Wait, hold on. You said 9 minutes and... Who now? Hold on.
Okay. I didn't mean for you to do it now. But...
Oh, I thought... Okay. All right, keep talking.
So, yeah, this is not a good episode. Should have been. Really, really should have been. I was looking forward to this one.
It did smack a should have been, didn't it? Like, I'm trying to look for this cat door, Steve, and I can't. Wait, hold on. Never mind.
So when he walks into his office, the door that comes in from the hallway, there's a cutout of a cat.
Okay.
Into the door.
Okay.
So, there you go. That's my contribute. I can't say the word.
Contribution.
Contribution.
Okay.
To this podcast. I can die now. A happy person.
Okay.
Speaking of cats.
Oh God, yes. The cats are here with the wheel for the season 4 episode. So
Wheel
happy.
of Cats. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on while the cats get it out. They've got
Whoa! Are these boy cats?
No, they're all boy
get it
cats.
Out.
Fun fact: I have 5 cats. 4 of them are boys.
What about the one cat? That poor cat.
She's
oh my god.
Bitch. No, I'm
Is
not
she
even
a slut?
kidding. No, she's a bitch. She doesn't pay attention to us. She walks away when we talk
What's her name?
to her. Her name is Moira.
Moira.
She's
Think of the BBs.
the babies. Yeah. No. I enjoy, if you enjoy a white rosé like I do, I just a white wine.
Who listens to this podcast? I have no idea.
Yeah, fucking nobody, basically. You know what?
At this point, no one.
From what I've read, people actually enjoy this kind of shit, and I have no reason why. But you know, when they're driving to work on Tuesday morning, hearing to our drunk pieces of shit apparently is a remedy for them. I don't know. We like it. We like doing it. So if you're gonna listen to it, we'll do it. Okay. So the cats have. Are you ready to spin the wheel, Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. It is going to be. Oh, shit. It is going to be. Oh, Steve! I've always wanted to see this. Who threw the barbitals in Mrs. Fletcher's chowder?
That is not the name of it.
No. Okay. This is why this is fucking amazing because I did a podcast last night about Night of the Comet, and there's a guy in this, and I think his name is Lawrence Lee. I can't remember. It's not Tim Conway, but it's another guy, and he's in this. Do you recognize
the most
the name of this?
confusing podcast that I've ever had to record before. Okay, go on.
But who threw the barbitals in Mrs. Fletcher's chowder from?
That's the name of the episode?
Yes.
It is fucking not.
Before?
This is not a fucking episode.
Yeah.
What?
Who threw the barbitals in Mrs. Fletcher's chowder? That's the actual name of it. But there are people listening right now that are just like, "Oh my God, Steve! This is like if it's Thursday, it must be Beverly type of thing." No, this is kind of a famous one.
Okay, so season 4 episode. This is not.
You've never really heard of this before?
I know of the show, but I didn't know it was called this.
Yeah, basically.
It's so on the nose.
She has a bunch of people. It's set in Cabot Cove. She has a bunch of people over to her house for a dinner party, and somebody poisons the chowder.
Who's the sheriff in this one?
I think it's probably Metzger, but I may be wrong.
No, it can't be. It has to be.
I know Seth is in it, but I don't think it's Metzger.
Sure, Seth. Okay.
Okay. So, that's what we're going to talk about next.
It's obviously clam chowder. And I will be eating clam chowder while we watch this.
Oh,
in the nude.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Because we've done this. This episode is we're in the nude.
We are so
moving forward. Sean and I will be naked. I'm recording. If you want to see, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see this, it's going to cost you $1,000 American. You have to compensate my paycheck.
Yeah, it
so
will
I can do this full time.
In fact, it's not on Patreon.
If you want to see Sean's saucer plate nipples,
it's on OnlyFans. It's on OnlyFans, basically. You can see either me or Steve naked.
And our saucer plate nipples. It's gonna cost. It's gonna cost you.
This is the best episode ever. Okay.
My nipples are more in the line of dimes, not saucer plates. I just want to let you know. I look at them every day. Every morning I get up and I have to shower. I have to dry myself off.
I'm going to say nickels. I'm going to say nickels? Not for you, but just nickels. Maybe dimes. I'd prefer dimes, but I think it's nickels.
Dimes, yeah.
Because you can't...
Pepperonis, maybe?
No, disgusting. Stop. Man or woman, you cannot have pepperoni nipples. It is just...
I don't even know what that means.
And
you said it to me years ago.
Is it around the nipples, around the areola? You have
areolas, yes.
Hairs like growing around the outline.
Jesus Christ! I almost took a drink when you said that.
This is something that I don't know where this came from. There was no textbook to teach me that this would happen. but that you would get hairs on your areolas when you were about 30 years old, and you should probably shave them off. There was nothing to warn me of this.
This is...
And my parents, you know, they were born in the 50s, you know, grew up in the 70s, whatever, 60s.
Season 4, episode 12. Barbitals.
My parents were like, don't ever shave your chest or your legs. That's what gay guys do. Oh, now
Well,
I'm like, yeah. But seriously, no. It's nice. Nice hairless body. All right.
podcast gold.
Join us next time for Who Put the Barbitals in Mrs. Fletcher's Chowder? Do you believe me now? Did you see the episode on the old...
Henry Gibson's in this. Oh boy, this is gonna be good. Yeah, Tom Bosley. Yeah, Sheriff Tupper's in this. Seth is in this for sure.
Don't you? You can't wait to watch this. I know you.
I'm watching it tonight.
Who put the barbituals in Mrs. Fletcher's Chowder? Like, oh my god,
Seth has definitely. Yep.
I really seriously want to just taste Mrs. Fletcher's Chowder.
Oh god, that's gross.
You made it gross, Steve. You made it gross. I don't know, but I do really want to taste the soup that she made. Don't. You're like, oh. I haven't even said anything that's that bad. All right. Say goodnight, Steve.
Good night.
Bye, everybody. I took my glasses on for this next part. Oh, shit.